didn't play with a Jet. And once they actually changed their name to FPL-C is when we started seeing them without that Jet. JMO has completely switched up his position, his role on the team, and playing up a Sage instead. And this team is just, they're very defensive. Again, single duelist for both sides. Not something that either one of these two teams are really used to, but it's a new era. Again, adapt or die, drape or drown. It is map number 2. Ascent between the ookers and the FPL-C, worth a spot in grand finals here, Sully. And FPL-C starting off with 4 people outside of the B main area, but not exactly doing too much of an approach. No bullets. They're going back to mid.
While we have this little bit of a hiatus, just to go back to JMO switching up, it's the only other agent that really makes sense to play operator on. We've been using it since beta, so to get that versatility not only with the operator but also with the utility, we're seeing it here in action already as ookers instant reaction, wall and slow orb, as I feel no pressure to either extremity, and they say, okay, that means they have to be working up towards mid, and well, indeed they have. Odorous sandwiched between 2. It's not a free pick for Seb as he actually goes down to Odorous. It's a 1-for-1 trade. A 4v4 as Scuba dropping quick nebulas is going to work his way out, knowing that there's no longer pressure from any KJ possible.
And that is kind of crazy that he ended up getting that. And look at the rest of FPL-C, just trying to scrap their way into the B site. And I love this from JMO, refusing to relinquish this courtyard control. And that's everything that they absolutely need. These players cannot give this up. They cannot fall into the exits. And also, they just need somebody there to just watch out for these crosses. And it might just happen. Physic, however, gets taken out by Cairo. Got a headshot back. Scuba trying to back out of short. Both of these players from ookers are coming out from short. Scuba lining up. Drill gets the kill. JMO needs a right click, and he gets it from midair. 3 kills for JMO on the round. FPL-C with a very successful start.
Wow. Okay, after that first pick that Odorous was able to get, I was like, man, ookers missed out on a perfect opportunity to set themselves up for a man advantage. And that fight, maybe in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter too much, but it should have definitely gone their way. However, FPL-C did a very fine job of holding down the site. That's where that heal comes very useful, is in those kind of pistol 1v1s. You can get back to 100 HP, and you know your opponent's already been tagged down. Take that information, ensure you can get the frag, and ookers losing the pistol, find themselves in another eco round. Early control gain, solo prevent the push. Check out this close corner just in case. Mina looking for a spam, but nothing is coming through. Aldrone's going to lead the way, and it's just a clean entry so far from FPL-C with the boost over with the Sage.
Yeah, cheeky stuff from JMO, but we've seen that, you know, quite a bit before. I think specifically from FPL-C, not too much. It feels good, you know, kind of seeing a refreshed Ascent, because I think that's one thing that I've discussed personally with their coach Casey, is that you know, mainly on Ascent, they've been kind of just playing up their own game, not exactly changing up comp too much, you know, not doing anything different from the current meta, just trying to keep up. There you go, Mochilla, doing what the shorty does best. Up close and personal, getting to. But you know, kind of continuing my point, I do like the fact that now that FPL-C has kind of relinquished from the shackles a little bit and changed up their lineup, they are making proactive changes to their pools, and it's kind of working. And I like this change for them. Small things like Sage Walls is going to remind me of the fact that this team has changed.
Proactivity. As I was thinking of the word, I was like, what's a good way to put that in terms?
What's the word?
Yeah, dull word. It's proactivity, right? Always changing. And I think this Sage isn't necessarily the biggest change. It's not like the most outlandish agent to select, but in the hands of JMO, it can be super effective. Again, going back to how you can use Sage still as an operator, right? Skadoodle used to do it in beta. Dicey did it for a time in the JBL Quantum Cup. There were so many instances where Sage can still be viable. And Cairo, who we saw on Bind, play the Sage operator, is going to do it here. He is in an isolated position, but he's drawn attention away. His control of Catwalk is enough to at least divert the attention of FPL-C and allow the rest of his team to work into the sites. And it's a cleanup here as a 5v1 is Odorous looking for any exits he can muster. It's 2-1 for ookers to clean things up with 4 players alive.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Cairo in a pretty good position over towards Cat, and most of the players for ookers, period, in very safe spots, very off-angle-ish spots over on the A site. Not exactly trying to fight up first contact, almost allowing footsteps to be had on site before they end up executing. So not a bad idea whatsoever from ookers, and it ends up working out in their favor. How about this round though? JMO, as we have the battle of the two hopping sages, the battle sages galore. Op is pulled out by JMO on the attacking side. Is this the right move, Sully?
I'd say on most maps, I always say it doesn't make sense to buy and operate if you want to get aggressive. But Ascent in particular is a map where it really does favor itself because you can take that top mid peak with the operator. You can take the peak into A main. You can take the early B main pressure in fights as well. So makes a lot of sense. And I even love this boost. We saw this once pulled out by Ethan or Nitro on 100 Thieves, and they're going to use it here. A perfect opportunity for the operator. And oh, JMO, he's going to net the first kill already. A tag off of the Hunter's Fury is only going to do a little bit of damage. The wall has already gone up to the lane. The lockdown is what's going to force them out of the site.
Now this is everything for FPL-C. They just wanted that initial pick, and alongside the Hunter's Fury, stopping a lot of the momentum from ookers. Now look out for this.
What a hot hands. What a hot hands.
What a hot hands. What a hot hands. Landing it on sight, and Mina snipes down Scuba from behind the wall. And now FPL-C, their defense is now paper thin. It's Scourge now, the last one remaining in a 1v4. And I mean, it wasn't just the hot hands, right? But very, very cool stuff. Lots of interactions just working for ookers. And hey, big ups to the observers catching that one.
Yeah, my man's threw a curveball. He had a knuckleball in that hot hands. So huge play. And it sucks because that's what happens when you go in Astral.
Yeah, what was that bounce?
It zigzagged and everything.
Yeah, no, it hit the top of Jenny. It curved.
And it went down to the right.
The wall and landed.
I was like, okay, crazy stuff, but it sucks when you're in Astral form as well. You've got no idea, and no one on FPL-C was paying attention. I think by the time that Scourge realized, he's like, oh, dude, you're burning up right now. Scuba didn't have the time to get out of Astral form, so it's a nice opening as well. Good prediction. It's fortunate that you're able to catch the Astral off guard. The shock dart there towards Lynx gets no value, unfortunately. So it doesn't put a stop to this push, as already FPL-C right up towards mid. There's no alarm bot to stop them, and now there's no player to stop them. A B split seems to be in the works despite their lesser weapons.
Oh, early run it back, and Mina, it may be mal-timed. Wasn't able to really get anything from it instead. But another ultimate gets used from the defender's side of things. That's the Hunter's Fury going out, not exactly getting too much damage, but could just be a little bit of a cleanup for Mina. And indeed it is. Mina catching up 3. Odorous wide swinging from the smoke. He gets himself another one. Yeah, a little bit weird, right? 3-2 though.
And it's immediately after he uses his run it back, he is now 4 out of 6 away. So essentially in 2 rounds, he could have his ult back already. So that's just crazy to think about. That's the value you can get out of a Phoenix on a map like Ascent. Now imagine he was on the attacking side. It's almost guaranteed he gets the run it back with 1 ult orb and then 1 kill after. So ookers, that's maybe where the difference, I'd say, in my eyes comes into play. It's between those duels. But right now, it's still early days. Op has been pulled out. We've already seen a kill off an Oda in a position like this. We'll see if Seb can get anything. A little bit of a tag, a little bit of damage, but Odorous, he's still good for a kill. And even with the gravel, Seb isn't going to post up in his position. Odorous able to get away scot-free with the first kill. It's Cairo now that looks to take back some map control after losing B main. But down towards mid alongside Trill where the trade has gone. And it's up to Cairo to find another, but he misses as well.
Wow. Ooh, still going back, and Physic nails Mochilla. Sev still alive and still existing at best. Man, that is wild. FPL-C, such a clean round. Everyone on this side winning out their individual interactions, Sully.
Yeah, in my head I was like, well, that was cataclysmic for ookers. Nothing went their way. No peaks, no fights. And that catwalk play especially was probably the deal breaker. If you lose that fight, you probably lose the round. Cairo even was attempting the revive, assuming Mochilla could get his kill down towards B. He's not even able to win that fight. So they'll go again. Odin once more. No operator this time for Cairo, but do what they can find. It's slow again from FPL-C. They're not even really testing the water towards A main. Recon Bolt's going to get broken to show at least a single bit of presence from FPL-C, and that might keep ookers on their toes for a little while longer. But they disperse, go back towards mid to rework it after not winning the initial fights, or at least not winning the initial map control towards A main or B main.
That was their overall goal too, because now ookers has taken this opportunity, this lapse, to take their own control, and there it is. Trill taking up counter control of A main, while Physic slowly starting to back off. Very well caught. So now A is a little bit more on lockdown. That Sage wall over towards Cat, not exactly allowing Scourge to just waltz his way through. It's Cairo around the corner.
And FPL-C, after losing A main, I'm surprised they don't opt to take towards B main. They get the revive back for another 5v5. The lockdown's still available. So if Cairo can hold this position against these two players, you can see the goal from FPL-C. On a retake, you need to have guard control. And they're looking to fight for it. It's up to Cairo to lock this area down, to allow that lockdown to possibly come into play if the spike goes down. And he waits and he watches, but trades, kills galore, and they lose control. What's going on? 2v2. Garden has been given up here by ookers, so lockdown becomes a little bit more risky to put down.
Oh, and the lockdown goes in early, but they're trying to peek early. Oh, the Hunter's Fury going in, trying to capitalize. Mina swinging, takes him down. Lockdown is still going in. Mina has to run it back and could certainly try to go for the defuse off of this. Instead wants to aim. Does he even have time to take this to half? And no, very misjudged for Mina. Still has to face on that 1v1.
Doesn't know what side.
I'm not mistaken, this last person is on the left side, and indeed it is. And the peek from JMO gets him. Oh, Mina. Lapse in judgment, but a great play overall. Just abandoned ship as he was trying to get the kill over towards main. Man, what a tragic scenario.
Yes, so unfortunate. You can see the positioning of this lockdown, and I'd say that the timing, if the lockdown, all right, imagine this, the lockdown is in garden, it forces JMO instead into wine cellar, or it forces him to the right side and maybe gives a split second longer for Mina to tap that spike, get it to half, but that's the difference, right? The positioning of lockdown can make or break a round, and I feel like there, it had a little impact on it, and it maybe felt a little bit wonky on that retake, but who knows? ookers will try and reset with a push down mid, where Physic gonna take things bit by bit. Knows he's in the corner. Will invest a shock dart, but Mochilla, who's walking down mid, gets a kill. And with this timing from Physic, he's good for 2 here. And ookers, you didn't expect too much. They've at least got something to show for in the form of 1 kill.
So a little bit unfortunate for FPL-C early on. For the ookers, though, they've only been dealing with really paper clips and little post-it notes at best. In terms of a buy, it's FPL-C that has to knock in, that has to target a singular site and just commit to it, and it does seem like they're doing so over towards that A site. And no noise being made. ookers, of course, dealing with their eco. It's best for them to stack. Is this a situation that we're seeing here, Sully? It's pretty cut and dry.
Just in case, so close gate, throw the wall up for the early peek. ookers here, obviously, they're at least going to attempt the round. Maybe they could get another kill here or there. They're expecting JMO to probably be in this operating position, but it should be guaranteed around for the side of FPL-C. Revive available for them not to even try and invest that, as time is starting to tick. At this point, I think the goal is to try and charge up Seb's lockdown as best as you can, right? If he's fortunate to get a kill, if he's even fortunate to go down, that at least guarantees 1 ult charge. And so ookers should be what they're looking for, as they're trying to bait out some peaks. JMO not taking the bait just yet, doesn't want to give anything up, and there goes Sev. There's the final kill. So just extra ult points. Again, nothing major for ookers. It was an unwinnable position. As FPL-C was up 5-3, but Physic going down, not the big implications we might have expected, Gus.
No, not at all. Their catch is way better than I expected. I thought things were way closer in the economy department. It is a close battle between Physic and JMO, though. 10-10 in terms of kills. I'm liking that, bro. Double digits between the 2 players. Kind of a return to form, too.
Scanning ahead.
Look out for FPL-C, though. It's a lot faster over towards A. This control is good, at least for the ultar, but they've already backed out, Sully, and this Hunter's Fury might just amplify that.
Yeah, you gotta love that recon, but holy mochilla, that is a crazy average Jonas lineup. Sending it all the way from A garden to the back of B, seeing that there's no info, no one's broken the recon bolt, and that I'm just gonna gun my Hunter's Fury down towards A main. Brilliant read from Mochilla, and now ookers with that information, with the contact play, that they're not gonna be B main, they're only gonna be A or coming up towards mid, and they are prepared for it. Mina's ready, watching for the flank.
Bro, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. What a round thus far from Mochilla.
Yeah, and look
It's
at the
very
info.
beginning. Yeah, no, it's the very beginning of the rounds that Sovas are able to thrive. Well, let's see what happens here. Ages are still alive. Odor is still around, taking out Mina. Mochilla.
That's a crazy one-way.
Yeah, no, dodging away. Great one-way. JMO could go absolutely nuts here. But Mochilla takes him down. And Scourge, where did Scourge ever come from? This guy came in from Cat, I think? Question mark? And the KJ is still behind, like I mentioned, because of the flank from the mid side. Just a lapse in judgment. Again, I don't know how many times I need to say that, but that's almost literally what it is for this round. It's not exactly a great look for the ookers.
Yeah.
They were looking so good. Them? No, Mochilla specifically was looking amazing this round.
Yeah, his info play as well is what should have kicked it up, but I think very late walk up from Scourge to find 2 kills, and now it's up to 7, the 1v2. He's had no real tests this round. This is the big one. Turret available time ticking, sees if he gets a dink, but he's looking the wrong way, and yeah, double swing from under heaven. Probably don't expect that, and they take turns swinging one by one. Operator picked back up, and it's 6-3 FPL-C. A fantastic recovery after almost, I'd say, losing a lot of map control just off of 1 recon bolt.
It's the small things. The nerds will undoubtedly enjoy to see that type of stuff.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. You've had quite the character trajectory in the last few months too. When I say nerd, I mean it. So you've become a weeb, huh?
Yeah, okay. Let's not go down that alley.
No casting has changed you, man.
Let's not go down that alley. Let's go, you know.
Hey man, I was the one making JJK references.
Yeah,
you weren't.
Yeah.
Now you're catching up. I'm proud of you, bro. Getting back into this, it's not exactly going to be as easy as a fusion, huh? Going in between JMO and Physic to at least get one super being. Instead, it's gonna have to be a whole team effort over towards that B site. It might be a bit of a default, and this is actually the first time, Sully, that we've seen really any noise from FPL-C on B in a long time.
Yeah, it's only just an owl drone as well, and it looks like ookers have completely fallen for the bait. Most of these execs have been queued either by a Sage roll or that owl drone. And well, both the Sage and the Silver are on the opposite site, so it's hard to decipher which is the real exec. Revive avail, but you can't go down there if you are a Cairo. And they're just going to maintain this control and even get the kill onto Cairo. Odorous shot through the wall, taking a little bit of damage, has to stay alive for this lockdown. And a 4v5 retake. Physic around the gate. Good for 1, good for 3. Physic lines them up. Not the most fancy spray transfer, but it's enough to get the job done.
No, ain't nothing sour.
Oh, no.
It's all too sweet here, man.
No.
And JMO, no. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, no. The knife goes in, and it's denied by his own team's shock dart, dude. Now, I need to see this again.
All right, this is what I'm thinking.
Bro.
I'm thinking Physic said,
good stuff, Physic.
He said, I'm not going to let you be embarrassed with a failed knife attempt. And so he said, I'm just gonna take you down myself. If you fail the knife, I'm just gonna take you down myself, so it doesn't look that bad. So I think that's what he was thinking. I have no idea. He was like, if you miss, I'm just gonna refrag you. But okay, Scourge. Odin's on attacking side. Wallbang reverse to Mochilla, and a lockdown to follow up for immediate control.
Holy crap, Sully. We cannot look away from this game for a split second. Wow. Wonderfully done by Scourge, and now this site is theirs. FPL-C with full control. The spike will be able to go down, and now Odorous, what are you doing? Walking right into the smoke. That was a great idea if he was able to catch someone off. But instead, Cairo more than ready. I mean, it was the op. Could have gotten caught off guard. Still JMO watching up, boosted up on the wall. Takes down Cairo. Could go for more. Misses on the shot onto Seb. That eye goes out at a really good time. And an incredible time. Physics, Scourge, Scuba, all getting kills to clear up Courtyard, and FPL-C have themselves an 8th round.
Yeah, you gotta love that post plant from FPL-C. No one is sitting back on the site. No one is kind of is sitting in the back of Boathouse. Everyone is just holding an angle. The op up top, one in B main peeking towards market, the other towards spawn, one from pathway, one from stairs. It's a great crossfire no matter what from FPL-C. And it's so difficult to make a retake like that happen if you don't have a Phoenix run it back, or at least a Phoenix flash. So FPL-C perfectly done in that post plant, as ookers looking like a little bit more difficult here on Ascent, despite the statistics that we spewed out. Sev, though, with early control, just going to immediately throw down a lockdown, and on the other side of the map is a quick reaction. They've gone A main control off of a single run it back in Cairo. Cheeky Sage roll to find an opening pick, as he knows that they're going to be pushing down mid.
You will not kill my allies.
Full control of Spike. Even with that control. Even with control of the mid side, they can't exactly do much. Sage wall on that back end. And ookers not exactly fighting them on really any sort of these paths. It's quite interesting when you put it in that way, right? Certainly you would think that something would go down, but this is perfect, Sully. Everyone from FPL-C is going over towards A. Odorous, he should have played contact. He went out a little bit too deep. Sev, yes, in an off angle. But if he had played contact, that could have worked here for a fake. Let's see what happens here, Sully.
Honestly, don't even mind Odorous taking that peek. He was really looking to confirm that there were 3 players, or at least 2, towards his side, because they knew Cairo was back towards mid. And with that info, FPL-C are going to start the push. Cosmic Divide out. Mina underneath is going to find the first.
Oh, Trill! Right place, right time. Emerges out from heaven, and he's able to pick down 3. And does Mina have a well, I mean, it is the end of the half. I forgot that it was the end of the half when I saw the revival. Yes, what an ending. Trill, right time. And then even then, early on in the round, you mentioned Sully. I mean, I felt like it was an okay move to like show face over towards B. But, you know, it could have gotten wrong, could have gotten right, like really anything else, you know, hindsight 2020. But, again, going into this second half, we're not seeing too much kind of momentum here for ookers. Things have been relatively quiet.
It's truthfully just a nice way to close out the half, is to get that last round after such a sporadic start, and then a 6-round streak coming out from FPL-C. So to end it nicely is probably the best way to put it. Now, given the fact that the spike is in spawn, we're not going to see any early pushes. They just want to look for information, figure out, okay, which extremity are they not contesting? And they can see they're not contesting the B site. Instead, they're forcing themselves onto A. Let's make that inference and say, okay, 3 players here, no KJ available. We know where the last 2 players are and what agents they are. We'll see if we can work into it, as KJ at this point in time is not going to have the best utility to slow down a push. But even then, ookers very cautious.
Ooh, cautious, but for what?
1 enemy remaining.
It all leads in kills, and what is this?
Huh?
What is this? FPL-C all explode for cracks. Out of thin air.
All right,
And it all came out of A main. It was a 2-man approach in A main, and it just so happened to be that 2 players for ookers ended up lining themselves up in that one position. Man, and I mean, everything else, it's just rough. It's the way that the pistols potentially go. Of course, you could be a little bit more aggressive than you could be allowed to do so. But man, super weird, but super all right. For FPL-C, they get themselves a 9th round. They get themselves the SMGs. They're looking to farm, Sully.
ookers have elected to take the long road in that. They won't buy here, so they'll force up in the 3rd round, do as much damage as possible here. Shock dart, nice. So that's going to force Sev to drop the turret. He was going to drop it no matter what, I'd imagine, but just to clear it out, shock darts ensures both all the utilities of the KG are broken. So a nice clean pathway into a B split here, as Odorous is the only one on the back site. Actually, never mind. Got a little bit of support.
Ooh. Yeah, no, he's got a little bit of support. Odorous. Even with that support, it ends up working out. JMO ends up getting another kill. How far away was JMO to get that kill with the judge? Oh, man. FPL-C will just look and knee in this last kill, essentially. Odorous cannot give up this rifle. He's still going up with a pistol. Odorous just your teammates, dog. Just wait for your teammates. For the love of God. There you go. JMO coming up from behind. Some Maxim at the top of the head. 10-4. One person goes down. Not too much of an economic loss, which is all that they wanted here, Sully. No economic damage. ookers instead, they have the rifles back, and it's not looking like the greatest of buys. It's just all that they got. It's a Hail Mary.
Yeah, at 4-10, you're at a point where you got to make that gamble, and obviously this was going to happen. You save the second round, you force up the third, and FPL-C are not going to fall into the trap where we're going to risk a force to close this out early. They're going to take their bonus. They've got plenty of rounds to play with, and it's FPL-C who have a firm grasp on this matchup, I'd say, and even an even more aggressive approach is Mina looking for the spray, but the Growell just barely throws Mina's aim off, and even with the Leer in his face as well, makes it a very difficult fight to win. Now, the reposition back, they realize, okay, we take that early engagement. Let's ensure that we're not getting run up towards Catwalk, and reposition 3 back. Ball up early to allow some control for FPL-C, and JMO sits around the corner again with that judge, and they are gunning this man down. Mochillo stood no chance as FPL-C gained the upper hand and are even looking for a little bit more, but Sev does at least even things out, and at least for now is not the ultimate to play with.
Ooh, Kyra. Oh, no. No way. Kyro's wall went down right when Physic peaked. Kyro made sound, and Physic still died. Unfortunate. Super, super unfortunate. We can still continue, though. Still 2 players remaining now for FPL-C. That interaction with Physic was actually way bigger than first anticipated, because now it just leaves this one player here in the back of A. Let's see what they can try to pull off. 2 gravity walls alongside a Nova Pulse. That is all in if I've ever seen it. Yeah, Scuba now just has to hold on with the Spectre. Swings around the corner. Great timing on Trill, but Trill head on a swivel. Takes it on back, and that's a finally Sully, an opening for ookers.
Still got to remember is that no matter what was to happen in that round, it would have been FPL-C who could come back confidently with a bye. Yeah, even if Physic knew where he was, there's that like slight second where you can shift walk away, and his swing didn't go exactly when the sound key was given, but definitely if it was a great opportune moment to find that kill. But ookers still plenty of work to be done. JMO's even decided to go for the operator, see what they can find early. Curveball to deny info, effectively nullifying the use of the grab. Well, they fight for control very heavily here, and FPL-C, we don't see that reaction of taking back B main control. They're just going to hold it down towards mid. JMO's boosted up on that wall. They got util towards the B side. They are ready for what's to come here on the A site with 3 players posted.
Jones still not spotting out too much. The rest of FPL-C just begin to hunker down. Another. Did that owl drone just go out at the same exact spot as the other? Joining each other in the afterlife. Both owl drones are out. Barely any information taken away from that owl drone. One lurker at least still there. But look at this stack now, Sully. 4 people are here for FPL-C over towards short.
Yeah, you got to look at this, though. Both ultimates, both lockdowns, and FPL-C are like, okay, if they're coming to the A side, we got to lock down this area of garden so we can have that lockdown. And, well, ookers have elected to use theirs right off the bat. Now, can FPL-C maintain the control? It's good for JMO to find one, but now they're going to start to leave and funnel away from garden. The lockdown still should be good for the post plant.
Right. Yeah, Odorous. And bound to use it. Kyro could get exploited for so many angles. There's one person deep in cat there for the trades. And there you go, Scourge. That position was everything. Mochilla potentially could have had a chance, but man, oh man. That setup was just all too perfect for FPL-C, who were there practically solely for the whole round. Nobody from ookers had any cat control. And, well, they took it as is. No, I mean, they didn't even want to touch site. No. You know, that's probably the biggest part of it. FPL-C stacked on 4 bodies, all in courtyard.
Yeah, it's such great anticipation to know that Both teams have a lockdown. The first lockdown has to be initiated for ookers in order for them to really gain any value from putting 4 players in towards garden to safeguard that area. And as soon as the spike goes down, ookers are like, all right, now we need to put pressure. We know the lockdown's going to come in, but with 4 players there, FPL-C already anticipating that kind of play works out beautifully in their favor. So ookers, job was never done, and now it's just got a whole lot harder. And once more, they've broken the gate already, FPL-C. They've just evacuated the site and opened up another area for a retake.
Mina has to go all the way back, off to run it back, but in we go, folks. 5v5, full strength. Physic could make the first blast here over towards mid. Those 2 players are having quite the awkward, quite an awkward situation. Sev takes him down instead. Mina sitting right behind the Nebula. Nobody spots Mina, but out goes Scourge. And instead now Scuba over towards Cat, taking down another. Cairo and Trill combining for more. Scuba now the last person remaining in a 1v3, and the angles are all too tough. ookers on the fly, maintaining a trade type position. And just like that, a 6th round for ookers. They take it back again, Sully.
And it's a tough position now for FPL-C because you felt really confident to run it back from Mina, creating a whole lot of space for the side of ookers, and only clearing out really that garden area. He's still able to get a lot of information, pull some attention away, and essentially give his team the confidence to clear out the site. So ookers, again, job not done. FPL-C will be forced back onto an eco round. Still, Sheriffs can be just as deadly, and it's a little bit of a change here for ookers. They've decided instead to post up 4 players towards the B side instead of A. Scourge looking down mid, trying to punish someone early as Mina will take the first look into B main and get that control as Mochilla punishing Scourge down towards middle. He's able to find first blood and create an even bigger advantage now for ookers moving forward.
Now we go again, yet another slower approach from ookers, but this time we actually have a centralized idea on where they're going. JMO just knocking in as many bullets as possible in anticipation through the smoke. Cairo lining up for a boost. And a couple players on site that Cairo can clear out. Mochilla certainly helping himself out with a classic, getting a kill. Cairo getting another one, and it's all too overwhelming for FPL-C on site. All of them are dead.
Spike planted.
Odorous, hoping to maybe net something. ookers in that round in particular, very calm, cautious again on the execution. I like how Cairo doesn't overcommit to the Sage Wall boost. Instead, when his teammates are able to gain some ground up towards pathway, they decide, okay, all 3 of us will swing together. So if any of us were to go down, there's an instant trade back, and it's in 2 very different angles. So if you were a player on that B site, it's crazy difficult to flick from the window down towards pathway, and ookers playing that round to perfection against the eco round, ensuring that they don't lose too many people, too many guns, no major reinvestments. And still, it is such a big factor knowing that you're still down by 4 rounds.
I'll find them.
However, 3 ultimates, I think, are going to come very handy later on, as both of these teams were kind of coming down to the wire again, similar to what we saw in Bind. Instead, it's ookers making the comeback.
This is quite awkward.
Oh
JMO.
my goodness, Scourge.
Yeah. Scourge, up close,
That is
personal. Get him out of here. Wow, Scourge.
Clean as a whistle. First kill. No, it anticipates the KJ lurk as well and just instantly dismisses as soon as he has the info to the turrets there. Now they know it's going to be an A play as Cairo, spam down through the smoke again, and JMO's going to be able to get away scot-free as well. Scuba swing for 2. And as quick as ookers had momentum, they've lost it instantaneously with Scourge looking for the final kill. He kicked things off in this round. It's only fitting that he ends it here as well.
Sev feeling flicky too. Sev has been pretty good today thus far too, in terms of aim. We've seen the glimpses of it. Really seeing this entire team. Look at the stat line across the entire server. We can't see it. A great timing, Scourge. Hey, well done. But just saying, I think everyone in the server except for one has double-digit kills, which is, I mean, it's as tight as you can get. At some points, I felt like this game was like boring. You know, it's just not exactly the pace that I well expected from FPL-C in current in
Oh.
you know, more recent rounds. But it's stuff like this, you know, ookers doing a lot of things in anticipation, almost playing out for the long run, ends up helping out really in the short run.
Right. It offered
Look at them now, though.
first.
The Odin working out. Sully, I'm sorry, this is really quick. Killjoy ulti is out. Scourge is still in the middle of the site. Look at this boost up. It might be able to catch him, and the detain is down. Scourge is done. And not only that, but there's still another person over in the defender's side. Scuba could still capitalize on a cross or two, but ookers has it all. Fast rotations from FPL-C, but they simply weren't enough. It's 8-12 as this game continues. This map continues.
Keeping things alive still. It's slowly but surely. Again, coming to that 10-12 scoring that we saw on Bind. FPL-C with barely enough credits, really, for another buy here. It's ookers. That early pick off the Odin. You love that combo as well, using Nova Pulse, or I think it was a Gravwell, that kept the player in place, and the spam goes in for Sev. It's a 50-50 because if the other player has an Odin, whose shots come out first, and who's able to get the kill off the bat. So ookers took that risk. They were able to profit off of it. As Owl Drone looks for some info, but the Gravwell not gonna get as much ground as maybe you would have hoped. And Scourge with a huge push, and Sev looking for a quick trade. Not going to be able to get it. Sage down. Same thing with the Astra. So ookers, no real exec potential with the utilization of smokes. Have got to go into this one pretty much dry, and what could be the last round of this map.
Well, this is probably going to last for a little bit more, this tug of war between ookers and FPL-C is kind of just waiting up on ookers really to make that first move. It's kind of crazy that FPL-C, they've been playing around with back choke points really this entire game, but it's never been as consequential as we've seen now in this round. Had to come up here. Had to come up in a 12-8 type scenario to potentially put ookers 8 feet under, but oh, Mochilla! This team needs everything, any sort of trick in the book that they can pull off, they need it. And it's the Hunter's Fury on B that gives his team an opening. Oh, I'm sorry, Hunter's Fury on A that gives his team an opening on B. That's a massive fake, but oh, watch out, run it back, going in. Mina has to get a kill here, has to make it worth it. Gets nothing instead. Spike is down. Double Nano Swarm right in that front line. Sully, this is starting to get a little bit more intense. FPL-C aren't moving.
Double Swarm towards the stairs as well. They're going to play the contact off of this turret. Hopefully he doesn't get spotted out by the Owl Drone, but that Cosmic Divide forcing them out of Boathouse. Mochilla, he's removed from this fight. It's a 2v4 here on B, but it's a 2v2 as the other two players are investigating in towards B main. Mina alone here, isolated, able to get a third frag now, but he's gunned down from behind, and I think with just this timing, there's no way he can get back into the site unless he gets the kill now, and it should be a third map coming up as FPL-C bring us to a third map.